right, Drive Radio fans, another review. 2014 Promaster. So it's made by Ram, which actually is a division of Fiat. So it's a Promaster van. They make this in a 1500 and a 2500 series. Multiple wheelbase configurations. They make it in a window van where you've got more seats in it. They make it high like this where you can actually get inside and walk around, or they make a low profile if you're worried about having clearance issues, things along those lines. So it's a great van. We did a lot of interior shots and even drove around with the camera on inside. But come along, walk around with us. Let me show you kind of what the van is like. This is the half-ton version that we drove. Again, we talk about it later, but 17 miles to the gallon was our average. You can tell this is one of the shorter wheelbase vans. We've got nothing on the inside of this van. So this van came to us to test drive, totally open. The nice thing about that, though, is you can configure this van any way you want. I'm 5'10". You can see you could be 6 foot tall very easily, and even a little taller than that, have plenty of room inside. But these vans come multiple places to store, to bolt your racks on for your storage. Again, you can get an extended wheelbase where it's longer. Total flat floor. And by the way, they make this totally flat and low profile by making this van front wheel drive. That's unheard of. Most of these vans are rear wheel drive. This is actually a front wheel drive powertrain configuration. This vehicle has a 3.6 Pentastar, 280 horsepower V6 engine. It works very well. Partially why our mileage isn't as great, but you're pushing a lot of square box down the road. And we'll talk about the front end and how they've made it a little more aerodynamic. But typically, this van would be 13, 14 miles to the gallon, so they've bumped that up 3 to 4 miles to the gallon, which in a fleet over a year's time really adds up. Some of you fleet operators know that. Just the stock configuration, you can see it's got some basic tie downs that are built in along the wall, in the floor. But again, this van would be configured with multiple shelves. Really, however you want to do this, you could put a bulkhead in front up here. The one cool feature about it, Richard, if you can show this, is it does have some cool storage. Just from the factory up here, where you've actually got a place to slide some things in. So whether you had a bulkhead in here or not, you've got some ability to actually do some storage. Plus, over the driver's head, we couldn't see this inside when we were sitting because of the way when you're sitting in it and looking out the windshield, you can't see this. But nice storage up above here. Little vanity lights, etc. above you. And by the way, very, very comfortable seats. This has to be one of the most comfortable vans as far as driving it that I believe Richard and I have ever driven. So this does not drive like a truck. You'd feel like you were driving a passenger car. The vehicle actually works extremely well. Okay, so we've stopped now, and I'm going to show you just some of the inside of the Promaster van. And again, this is a unique vehicle. Here's the dash. Good digital readout, good gauges. Richard, what'd you think of the Promaster?
I actually liked it. I know it's kind of a weird car to drive around for a week, especially a two-seater and you kind of sit up high. But really, it is a working class van, and we'll go over some of the other features here in a second. But it is nice to have this Uconnect. I know if you're going to get it for... It's capable in a passenger feature, but if you're going to get it for work, it's nice. What's different on this than a normal car is if you go here to info, well, it gives you your sports info. But if you go to here to more, this is where you're gonna have all of your trip and your compass, where you would normally find that on your dash. It's now on your center console. So if you go to trip, you can kind of see what your fuel range is, what your economy is, and we've been averaging about 16 to 17 miles per gallon for the time that we've had this van. And while that's not something that you would we've been averaging 16 to 17 miles per hour for this van, which really, when you think about it, is great for a working class vehicle. And this car with fully equipped passengers, I believe, will hold, including the 2 in the front seat, I believe 11 or so. We'll have to check figures on that. But really like the overall feature of the car. Nothing too fancy. It's a lot of plastic, but you don't really need too much. You have your USB ports to charge. You have your key or your cigarette lighter charging, and then a feature, if you can get this, Dad, you actually have a USB and an auxiliary port in there that you can see. Yep. Barely, and that's if you wanted to run an iPod off of it or run your auxiliary, which is kind of nice.
So a lot of you guys that are contractors looking for different vans, I mean that's the market. This van is designed for the contractor. It was designed by Fiat, so this is actually a Fiat vehicle. and it's that platform that they've used over in Europe, and they do a great job. This vehicle's got a lot of great storage features in it. You know, storage up here in the top, clipboard holder up here. You can see where you can put your notes, notepad, a glove box down below my knee down here, and we'll go through some of the...
Alright, Drive Radio fans, one feature that we would like to include in here is the fact that this van does have a rear backup camera, which is going to become standard now on all new vehicles, but it's nice, and if you can see, it looks a little bit different. If you notice, the bars aren't the entire weight or width of the screen, and the reason being is the camera is actually on the very top of the car, so those bars that you see is the literal length of the van, or the literal width of the van. So it's a very handy feature, especially in a cargo van, being able to back it up. Also, if you have the doors open, you're still able to see. The doors being open does not affect the camera angle and your view. It's
basically because that's mounted to the very top of the van, that's not going to bother. So in other words, if the doors are open, to Richard's point, the cool feature about that is, let's say I'm driving, I've backed up into a spot, I actually shift to drive, and you could see just a minute ago that even though I was in drive, the camera is still on. I'm then able to actually watch who's behind me. So if Richard was in the back, my partner was in the back unloading cargo, etc., I'd actually be able to see what's going on at the back of the van, which is really a cool feature in a cargo van, especially if there's a bulkhead behind me right here, which in a lot of cases that blocks the view of the driver, so that camera comes in as a really nice option.
Alright, Drive Radio fans, as we are headed back kind of on our return journey, we'd like to also mention that this does come with an available diesel engine option. So it's the Eco Diesel, and it is is it a 3 liter Eco Diesel option, which they don't release fuel economy numbers for these vans because, number one, they don't have to. It's a work truck sort of an application, so it's not required. But we're estimating that, you know, if we're getting 17 miles to the gallon with the 3.6,
be in the mid-20s with the diesel, probably
mid-20s, and your towing capacity goes up. A lot of different things go up with that, so something to keep in mind if you're in the fleet side of things, and if that's what you're looking for, it does come with that, which gives you added towing capacity, added fuel economy. Also, I would like to mention, and if Dad, you can kind of demonstrate this, the turning radius on this car is tremendous, and part of it's because you have such a short front end on it, but that is something that's great. If you we kind of going through the cul-de-sac here, and really it has a turning radius of, I mean, I don't know, even a small,
very tight. You could turn around right in the middle of the road without any problems at all. In fact, I'll go down the road here just a second. We can do this, and I can actually make a U-turn right here in the middle of the road without any problem at all. So I'll just kind of stay over here to the right hand side, and I guarantee I'll be able to turn without even get close to the curb over here. Here we go. A little bit on the curb and off we go.
Not too bad. Great. Yeah, so it's a great car, great for deliveries. It does, all the doors are able to be opened from the inside. The sliding doors, it's great to step in.
Real quick, one other quick feature that Richard, we were trying to mention that it's got too, is on the key fob itself. So let me put this in park real quick. On the key fob, you can see there's different selectors on the fob, which is great for a delivery person because each one of these unlocks different doors on the vehicle. So if you want to just unlock the side door but leave everything else locked, you press this bottom button. If you want to unlock the front, you press that, and if you hit it twice, it unlocks all of them. So great feature, especially for those of you that might be in the delivery business where you're going to open up just a side door or a back door and not the rest of it. So if you had stuff in the front you wanted to keep safe, you'd have the ability to. Okay, we know our lighting's not that great, but we thought, you know, being a van, we'd try to get a picture of engine compartment. Again, crossways, so they can get everything kind of, you know, crammed in here sideways. Doesn't make it fun for the technician that has to work on it, but being a front wheel drive, they can kind of tuck everything really up front, give it a nice sloped look. Okay, real quick, and it's starting to rain on us, so we'll make this fast. The cool thing also about this is these mirrors can actually fold in automatically, and they can also be adjusted top and bottom remotely from inside the driver's seat, which is really a cool feature. So again, this is really great for contractors. If you're in the market for a van, and I know a lot of people out there use them. We use them in our business. Richard and I, and the other business that we have, we use it. We use some vans, etc. This is a great contractor vehicle, but also if you're looking for a great passenger vehicle, again, this is not going to be for the average everyday, you know, person that's driving the streets. This is going to be a very select market, people that are wanting to use a van, haul gear, passengers, multiple things, but the van market is huge. I think this is a home run. Dodge has done a great job with this, or I should say Fiat has done a great job through the Ram brand bringing this to the US. This is a great vehicle, works fantastic. I'm excited to see how well it sells. But watch the rest of our videos here on YouTube. Drive Radio.